So I just finished watching Oppenheimer, and this is a movie that I think it's not going to be for everyone. It's not going to be for everyone, but I think it's a masterpiece. I can see why people say it's Christopher Nolan's magnus opus. It's a great movie. I'm going to tell you how I felt about the movie when while I was watching the movie, just because it's like I said, it's not for everyone. So I kind of want to give you my thoughts. The first act, I was confused. They went, forward time, back in time, present, whatever, and I was confused. I'm like, what's going on? It was just confusing. I was like, what's going on? I don't even know what's going on. Like, I can't tell. I don't know. I don't know what the story's about. The second act, the first half of the second act, I was like, okay, this might just be a boring, pretentious movie because I still don't understand what the hell's going on. When are we gonna get to the bomb? What's going? I don't get it. The second half of the second act, that's when everything started getting together or coming together, and you see more of what you wanted to see. This is not a movie about the atom bomb. It's a movie about Oppenheimer, a personal movie about Oppenheimer during that time when he was in the Manhattan Project. So if you're coming in to think, oh, I'm going to see how the bomb was built or whatever, no. It's a personal movie about his life during this time and how it affected his personal life, his career, his political life, all that. So it's not going to be ode to the atom bomb, which is kind of what I was expecting, more of the atom bomb, but it's not. It's a personal story, a personal story of his, or his personal story. But at the third act, that's when everything started coming together and it paid off, because what was confusing in the beginning, they were going back in time and forward or whatever, and the third act, you get it. I see why, what was going on here, what happened, all this political movement, all this, it paid off, and like I said, it's a masterpiece. I feel it's going to be a classic in the future. It's for movie files or history buffs. You got to see this. If you're not into movies where they talk a lot, and they talk a lot of very, like physics filled language, political language, and movements and everything, if you're not that type of person, you're going to hate this movie. If you're not a person that wants to really, I'm not saying think, but it's a movie that makes you think, you're going to hate this movie. You're going to think it's boring. You're going to think pretentious, and that's okay, because it can be for you if you're not into this type of movie. But if you're a movie file, if you're a history buff, if you like to see, the just kind of the story of people's life and how what they do destroys it, or makes it better, makes them a god, you'll enjoy this movie. So I do see this movie. You don't have to see it in IMAX. You really don't. The explosion, it's big. I feel like the sound is more what matters in this movie, not really the size. The sound is what matters. So if you don't see an IMAX, I think that's fine. But if you want to see it, this movie, and get the most bang for your buck, see it in theaters. Otherwise, you can just rent it. Really, it's a movie where they talk a lot. Again, it's Christopher Nolan, so if the sound isn't the best in terms of when they speak. So I think theater would be the best, but even then, the sound kind of gets muddled around with the music and everything. So he still has that problem. But he is, I think, probably one of the greatest directors of our time. And it's not just directing of, oh, this movie looks good, beautiful, whatever. It's directing in terms of how it gets you to think and feel. Because at the end, it kind of gave me this dystopian dread of what we actually live in. We live in a world where we can destroy the world. And he kind of makes you feel like what Oppenheimer feels at the end of the movie. So I do think, watch it. I think it deserves to be at least nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture, if not win it. Robert Downey Jr. Again, the beginning was a mess. I was like, what is this? Why were people saying he can be, nominated for supporting actor? What is he doing? Like, I don't even get it. Second half again. Oh, not second half. Second act. I was like, why is he even here? Like, I don't get it. Third act. Yeah, he definitely needs to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And Cillian Murphy, he did great. He was amazing in this movie. Overall, great movie, I feel. Not for everyone, though. So if you're what I said before, the type of person that doesn't like those type of movies, don't even watch it. It's going to be boring to you. It's a 3-hour movie of that, and you have to wait until the third act for everything to pay off. So if you don't have that, in you of waiting 3 hours for that, don't watch it. But other than that, I feel it's a masterpiece. So to me, it's a win.